Welcome back to another reaction, this time for Gnosia episode 8.
こんなに増えてる。
Oh, you're doing well. Let's we had like 40 runs or so, right? And was only at half? No, 20 or so.
そうか。乙女やレムナーに出会ったりしたから。これが溜まったら。
これが知識によって全て満たされた時、銀の鍵は宿り主の体を離れ、新たな宿り主を探して別の次元に移動する。
Which means that you are then not invincible anymore. And you can't go back in time. A lot of stuff is going to change whenever this thing goes away.
あと、どのくらい先なんだろう。
I am wondering if whenever this silver key disappears, if you have like one more run, you have to survive.
じゃあ、今日も会議を始めようか。
Guard duty. Yep.
レビ。
かしこまりました。
この世界線で船に乗り込んだのは全部で15。
15, I believe, is max number, right?
そのうちグノーシアは4人
4 Gnosia.
も
Okay.
いる。1日目は会議でコメットが
Sad.
コールドスリープになり、その後ステラがグノーシアに襲われて消滅。2日目は重道が会議でコールドスリープに選ばれ、その後ジョナスがグノーシアに襲われて帰らぬ人となった。こうして今11人が残っている。
So, first off, where's the engineer? Because it doesn't really take that long for the engineer to be forced to come forward, which is a game mechanic where you can ask who someone is specifically. Now you can't ask, you can only ask essentially for the engineer, the doctor. The doctor, I mean, is the least in danger. The engineer naturally is in danger, but this also brings the Gnosia into the fray because they most often claim to be an engineer and doctor as well. So you most of the time have two of each. But the doctor, as example, would be important as well. Engineer and doctor. Engineer would have been able to identify more people, and the doctor would have been able to identify who got put into the cryopod, if it was human or Gnosia. The problem now, theoretically, someone could come forward and claim to be an engineer or Gnosia, and you can't verify if they are. Let's say they are the only one, then you would be like, okay, they are a human because no one else came forward. So the Gnosia don't claim to be engineer or doctor, but you already have lost 3 people. One of them could have been the engineer or the doctor. So, especially the doctor, I feel like he should always come forward. There's no real negative to not come forward. The biggest problem that I have with the game, if you are if you force someone else to come forward, an engineer or a doctor, they don't tell you what they found out, because theoretically the engineer could still check people, come out and say, okay, I checked XYZ, or the doctor could come out and say, I checked the bodies and they were both human, as example in this case. But in the game they can't. really do that?
中に何人のグノーシアがいるのかはわからない。
Because the doctor is not.
その前にもう一度確認なんだけど、留守番だった人は本当に人間で確定していると考えていいんだよね。
はい、ククルシカ様、レムナー様の2人はルーアン貴公子船外に出ておりませんので、グノーシア汚染の可能性はゼロになります。
ありがとう。
This is a third party you can force to come forward the guard duty, which are confirmed humans. Most likely the first ones that are going to die because of the Gnosia, because all the other people you don't know, human, not human, but the guard duty always human. And the Gnosia can't claim to be guard duty for some reason. I don't know why.
これがこのループで新たに知った留守番。1日に1人、特定の1人がグノーシアか人間かを調べられるエンジニア。会議で前日コールドスリープに選ばれた者が。
By the way, smart way to reiterate the jobs for the game, because it's like 8 episodes in. It's already like 2 months into the show running. People may have already forgotten.
グノーシアか人間だったかを調べることができるドクター。1人を選んで空間転移時にグノーシアの襲撃から守ることができる。
I don't remember, did we ever get informed about the Guardian Angel? This one, by the way, cannot come forward, and you cannot force the Guardian Angel to come forward. I don't know if they can come forward, but you can't force them, because this is the one that is always in danger. I believe we got introduced to this one. Which means we have nearly all roles identified.
守護天使。そして人間であることが確定している留守番か。
And the ones that are most likely to be executed. Why do they both have a key?
どんどん複雑になっていく。
So, I mean, sadly, we don't really have good people as guard duty. SQ and, I mean, not SQ, but Comet would be very good for guard duty. Because of her high intuition, she is able to suss out lying, Gnosia. And then you can go and support her in her endeavor. But those two not necessarily good.
つまり残った11人のうちグノーシアは最大4名。2人は人間で確定しているから。
やめてください。今は会議中です。
ククルシカ。
さあ、宴は始まっているのですよ。早く舞を披露なさい。
じゃあまずエンジニアである俺の報告から。俺は説を。
So, well, since when do we know that you are an engineer?
調べた。説はグノーシアだったぜ。
Or I assume we have two engineers.
そう、私が邪魔ということはシピがグノーシアだったんだね。
説はそういうしかねえよな。どっちを信じるかは任せるが、俺は本物だ。
Also in the game, again, I did not continue. I have no idea about the story, just about the gameplay loop. It seems like it is detrimental to defend yourself in most cases. You just have to hope to have other people defend you. Because most often than not, people vote you out because you are always too defensive. Maybe they are suspect.
ドクターの判定は？
冷凍睡眠中の人体はもう調べてあるよ。重道は人間だった。
私も調べた。重道はグノーシア。 つまりどういうこと？わかんなくね？
そうだ、わからない。エンジニアとドクターを名乗り出たのはこの4人。
Oh, Shigemichi was one of the engineers. And they put him into cold sleep. Oh, yeah. That's not good. I'm assuming they were out there since day one. Meaning the engineer should have already checked people?
このうち重道は前日コールドスリープになった。その重道をラキオは人間、ジナはグノーシアと判定して。
It's not very helpful. The question is who of these two is lying? And to find that out, you would need corroborating information about another Gnosia, another engineer. That is why guard duty, as example, I would always try to keep hidden for a bit, at least for the first day. Because if an engineer claims they are Gnosia, and then they come out guard duty, then you know they are lying.
つまりどちらかが嘘をついていることになる。この4人のうち2人はグノーシアであることが確実だ。そのうち1人でも嘘をついていることが分かれば、この4人の誰がグノーシアで誰が人間か特定できそうだけど。
こんな時こそ人間様に聞けばいいんじゃねえの？
え？
そこにいるんだろう。人間様であることが確定している2人が。
そうなの。ククルシカさん、どう思います？
I know Shenma. Is he Shenma? The white-haired boy. He is not really useful in these meetings because he's not very good at getting people on his side. Kukushka, if I remember correctly, she is someone who holds a grudge. So she may not be the best. This is why these two are not necessarily good to have as a guard.
わからない。でも、なんとなく怪しいのは。
リアリー？待てよ、どうかしてるぜ。
根拠はないって言ってるの。あくまで印象で。
でも。
And Otomi is the one that understands Kukushka the best.
人間が確定してる人がそういう印象を持ったのは事実。
おいおい。
I don't remember. I don't believe her intuition is good though. Which is only for telling lies, but.
頭おかしいんじゃねえの？何話進めて？
I mean, you wanted her input. And you defended yourself vehemently. So automatically you are boned.
決定しました。コールドスリープとなるのはシャーミン様です。
マジかよ。
人間に聞けなんて余計な一言言っちゃったからね。怖い怖い。でも決定は決定。
マジかよ。だったら俺にも考えがあるっつうの。
なんです。僕は何も言って。
初めて見た。
なんかこういうの見ると踏みつけたくなっちゃう。
Her profile, by the way, is what you would expect in the game.
俺、調子こいたました。反省するんで心を入れ替えます。
I mean, it's already too late.
から一回だけ見逃してくれって。なんとかここは一つ。
悪いけどそういうわけには。
でもクルシカさんの印象だけで根拠はないですよね。
まあ確かに客観的根拠が乏しいのは事実だけどね。
Now in the game, you have your stats and you have skills that you can use if your stats are high enough. And those skills you learn from these characters. Now, I don't know if there is a skill that essentially gives you a second life. Because this seems to be something like that, where he's begging for a second chance. And maybe they are going to grant him that?
クーズが取るに足れぬものに興味はありません。好きにするがいい。
ヒュー、こいつはご機嫌だな。つうことで明日から
He got a second life. That's
よ
insane.
ろしく頼むぜ。
どうして？
不満なの？
当たり前だよ。会議で一人を選んでコールドスリープにする。それがレビトの取り決めなんだ。
それはそうだけど、実際曖昧なまま選んでしまったせいもあるから。
それを言い始めた。
I'm sorry, the first day is always a sketchy reason. You have zero things to go on and you just guess someone is bad.
そもそも会議が成り立たない。ルールを破ったら収拾がつかなくなる。そうなったら
また戻るだけ。少なくとも僕とセツはそうなんじゃないの？
でもその他の人にとってはここは唯一無二の世界線なんだ。ここしかないんだ。次があるなんて考えは失礼だよ。
ごめん、その通りだ。
頭が固いだけかもしれないけど、
それがセツのいいところだよ。どこであってもセツは真面目だ。
なんか褒めてるように聞こえないけど、その言葉そっくり返すよ、君に。
確かにセツの言う通りだ。精一杯みんなのために頑張らないと。
I'm assuming a guard is going to die this night. In the game, this is what last episode Setsu was like. We need to put someone in code sleep, or Levi is going to destroy the ship. Because in the game, there can be a hanged vote. You can have the same number of votes for two or even more parties. And then comes a re-vote only for those that got voted on first time. They are re-entered into a vote. You have 2 additional rounds to decide or to, blame someone. And then if that vote is a draw again, then it's a hanged vote. No one gets voted off. Or there's a little decision you can make, which is very interesting.
レムの
少しだけ時間ありますか？
Why are you able to enter the
いい
room?
けど、ククルシカが？
はい。どうしても一緒にいたいと。
レムナンは留守番で人間って確定しているから頼りたいんじゃないかな。
そうでしょうか。
何か気になるの？
いいえ、ただ苦手なんです。
Right, he grew up on a planet with AI, right?
ああいう得体の知れない女の人。
怖いの？女の子だよ。
She's just a girl. Sure, SQ is also just a girl. I would not trust her.
それもあんな小さな。
はい。
What is this?
でもあの目で見られるとなぜか手が。
ククルシカさんたら変なことばかり言って、変なことばかり言って笑いすぎて苦しいの。
何してるの？
あ、ユーリさん、さっきからククルシカさんが笑い
I did see the scene in the game as well.
話をしてるの。
話？
ククルシカさん、体の動きでおしゃべりするので。
This one, however, I have no clue about.
なんて言ってるの？
一緒に遊びたいと。とても綺麗ですね。
Maybe she just likes him because he's also very withdrawn, quiet. I don't know.
こういう景色見るのは初めて？
いえ、吉門さんがいろいろ教えてくれたの。でも本物はまだ見たことがなくて、私がいたところ海洋惑星だったから。
そうか。
これ、
あげるって言ってたの。
これを。時計。
I don't see any thorn.
時計。
No, for a moment I was like, maybe he's also going back in time.
やだ。やだ。やだ。
Didn't he grow up on a planet with AI? So he got tortured by someone? Some lady? Would explain why he can't handle women.
大丈夫なの？
お前にはあれが人間に見えるのですか？
あれって？
ククル
What is going on? We have we have some being in artificial skin. We have a dolphin. We have a terminal for Levi, whatever. We have someone who has mold on her body. Now we have something that is not human again.
シカです。
So she's AI, I assume?
星の目で見ればわかります。あれはグノーシアなどとも違う、もっと別の何か。
別の？
外側の美しさに目を奪われていると真実を見落としますよ。
どういう意味だ？この世界線ではククルシカは人間で確定しているはずだけど。
Yeah, I do wonder. What do you mean? Is she AI? Is that maybe why she likes him?
ゆり子様の反応がありません。
ユリコが。
グノーシアから見たら僕の次に脅威だろうからね。彼女を守ろうとしない。
He's so self-important. And I mean, how is the Guardian Angel, I assume, is spamming on one of the guards? That is what I would do. Because the guards are the only ones that you want to defend right now. 100% at least. The doctor is safe, as long as the other one is alive. The engineer is theoretically safe. Why didn't they kill the engineer? Maybe the idea is, hey, you don't know if the engineer is human or not. So leaving them alive is okay. Because they can't be verified. as we last day we saw, they declared Setsu as a Gnosia, and nothing happened. They didn't go for Setsu. Wouldn't it make sense to just freeze the other engineer at this point? Can't verify they are the real one. You can't. The Gnosia are not going to kill him. If they are not going to kill him, probably okay to let him live. There are more Gnosia that need to be taken care of, I guess.
とは守護天使はよほどの無能だ。期待できないと言って良さそうだね。
グノーシアは人間しか襲わない。つまりグノーシアに襲われた。
That is, by the way, also in the game. You cannot attack other Gnosia.
ステラ、ジョナス、ユリコが人間で確定。これに留守番のククルシカとレムナン、それと僕は人間で確定だ。残り9人のうち4人がグノーシアということか。
じゃあ今日も報告させてもらうぜ。今日は
その前に提案させてもらうよ。シピはコールドスリープにすべきだね。
お、いきなり来たぜ。
お前はそう言うしかねえよな。エンジニアであると宣言した重道を人間と判定した以上、俺がグノーシアで確定だもんな。
確かにその通りだ。けど仮に僕が嘘をついているとしても、君を凍らせた方が人間側にメリットが大きい。
わかりました、ラキオ先生。2人とも冷凍庫に入れちゃえばどっちかは当たりってことっすね。
簡単に言うとそういうことだ。
随分乱暴だな。みんなそれでいいのか。
悪いけど僕も賛成だ。
え？
もちろんシピが本物のエンジニアだとしたら申し訳ない。けど同じくエンジニアを名乗っていた重道が今回は早々にコールドスリープになってしまったんだ。残るエンジニアは君一人。君がグノーシアだった場合、情報を自由に操れることになる。
That is true. However, you don't need to listen to the information. Meaning you could leave the information on the back, and he's the only person with the doctor. These are the only two people that give out information. Meaning, let's say he is claiming someone else is Gnosia or innocent or whatever, and you find out through the doctor that it is true, as example. Or, I mean, this is not going to happen, but let's say he's claiming someone else is human and that person gets killed in a round later, then you know he was correct, or he at least was not lying that time. So you can maybe trust him more, and then you can take all his points as truth. Problem is the Gnosia engineer, he can just lie. He can claim people are humans, and you don't know if they are telling the truth or a lie. But you can just not take his information into account. And if you don't do that, I mean, there's no benefit or negative for letting him live. Because if you ignore the information he's giving you, that is just something you can rely on later if it ever comes out that he is a human or a Gnosia. And you have other people you potentially want to get rid of first.
いや、
はあ、死人に口なしだってよ。Understand?
でもかわいそうな。
Because the same could be said about the doctor. So you would then just try to get rid of the doctor. And I feel like the doctors are even a better option.
気もするの。
乙女だよな。こんな理不尽ないと思うぞ。
同感。 疑う理由がないと思う。その意見もわかるけど。
分かったよ。
By the way, this is more or less how the game goes. It's like, oh, he is a Gnosia, he defended himself. Other people were like, no, I do believe you are Gnosia. And then people come to his defense. And this is more or less how the game goes. And you need to identify who people... This is the biggest point. You need to identify which people or who is going to be voted for, and you want to vote for the same person, because if you don't, it can happen that you get voted out just because, not because the game remembers, but because if it comes to a tie, you could be one of the people that are in that tie. So you do want to stack your vote with the other ones just to make sure that you don't get voted out, because he gets one vote, you know, he only gets like 3 votes, you get 4 votes, and you are out for some other reason.
じゃあ昨日のシャーミンみたいに今日は一旦保留にして見逃してくれ。
え、それは。
シャーミンだけ特別扱いってのはねえよな。
おお、怒った顔もエクセレント。
ククルシカさんがいい方法があるって。
Okay.
全員
Let's hear it. Let's see what you mean.
をコールドスリープに。
はい。人間であることが確定しているククルシカさんとレムナンさんを管理者として残し、残りは全員コールドスリープにすればいいんじゃないかって。
I mean, it would work. Gnosia would be defeated. You would be all gone though, because you can't. I mean, we found out pretty early on that the code sleep is something that you don't necessarily can wake up from. So you would go dock somewhere and then slowly but surely unfreeze every person, maybe, and then check with the AI. I don't know.
それもまた強引じゃね。
But you would win.
しかし理にはかなっている。この方法ならグノーシア汚染されたものが確実に全員コールドスリープになるからね。
説はどう思う？レビの取り決めをまた破ることになるけど。
でもこれは土下座と違って理にはかなっている。残る2人は人間で確定しているわけだし。
僕は気が進みません。
なんだ、反対なのか。
He just doesn't want to be alone with Kukushka.
じゃあやめといた方がいいんじゃない。
Okay. You are very defensive here. I feel like a little bit too
ない
much.
のか。
となるとコールのはお前ってことになるけどな。
それを言うならお前も一緒にコールのが筋じゃねえか。
Yes.
なんでそうなるんだよ。うっぜ。そっちの猫に喋ってもらった方がいいんじゃねえのか。
レムナン、賛成してくれないか。
セツさん。
これは昨日ルールを守らずシャーミンを許してしまった私たち全員の責任だ。こうなった以上これしか収集する方法はない。
わかりました。
苦手なんすよね、コールドスリープ。
こんなところでいつ起きるかも決められずにおね。
So she has experience getting into code
かも
sleep.
決められ
Maybe?
ずにおねんねとはロックが過ぎるぜ。
こんな展開もあるんだね。今までで一番穏やかな解決かもしれない。
何か変わるのかな？
わからない。多分私とユーリはループすると思うけど。じゃあまたね。
I feel like at some point, Etsu's silver key is going to be full, and he and they are not going to loop anymore. And Yuri is still going to be the only one.
あと何度こんなことを繰り返すんだろう。
Okay, so Shippy was a Gnosia. Comet was a Gnosia. Interesting. Gina and Otome. Stella was the Guardian Angel. Oof. Shigi Michi was the Engineer, and Rakyo was the Doctor. I mean, it works. Now, in the game, this is the only second to last thing I can share. Again, I don't know anything about story-wise. In the game, if you have a hanged vote between multiple people, you can decide. You can say, okay, we are just going to not vote for anyone and everyone is fine. Or you can freeze everyone that is in the hanged vote, which is a very big move. But depending on which side you are on, could be beneficial. Because you can get rid of 2 or 3 people at once. Is the ending? It's too early. Okay, now it's him. What the fuck happened? Someone broke out? Someone... I mean, this is the first time we see blood. I'm assuming Kukushka? What is going on with her? I thought she was human. Because this is not how Gnosia kill people, right? And he was confirmed human. Why is he outside? I have no idea what is going on, by the way. I mean, does it help Liuan got attacked by Gnosia? Do you believe they are clear? And also, this is a classic. She's going to die before she's going to get out.
上にある脱出ボットに乗って外で君を回収する。だから早く。
緊急オープン作動。
チナ、セツ、SQ、みんな。
ユーリさん。
早く。
Why is everyone so fucking slow? Holy shit.
一体何があったの？
わかりません。僕と二人きりになった瞬間、クルシカさん急にコールドスリープになったみんなのことを。
あのククルシカは本当にククルシカなのか？
わかりませんよ。ただ僕ずっと飼われてたんです。ある人のペットとして。
ペット？
はい、ひどい毎日でした。管理首輪をつけられて自由に動くことすら許されなくて、だから逃げたんです。必死で新宇宙の果てまで逃げて。でもどんなに遠くに逃げても何十年隠れてもあの人は追ってくるんだ。僕をもてあそぶために。
君を飼っていたのがククルシカっていうこと？
違います。でも同じなんです。僕を見る目が、その笑顔がもう嫌だ。
消失まで残り。
Why is everything takes far too long on the ship?
10秒。9、8。
Also crazy that you have an emergency airlock purge.
7、6、5、4、3、2、1。
What happens in this case? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. He's not going to escape. Yuri's not going to escape. I don't know which gender Yuri is. And that means that we are going to reset. However, what if they are able to run away? Then they would not reset, right? Because Yuri is still alive. He's not in cold sleep. On the other hand, winning also resets. Maybe this counts as winning.
1、1、1。
落ちて。
No idea what that was. No clue. I guess I can continue playing the game a little bit. I hope you did.
したのか？なんだ？
Esker? Maybe not?
ようこそグノーシアの世界へ。
The Esker? I'm assuming that means that our boy is finally Gnosia? I have no idea what went on here. She was confirmed human, she's just crazy, I guess? I don't know why she killed all the rest. that I don't really understand. Maybe she wanted to be alone with him forever. I have no clue. No clue. But next episode we get to see how Gnosia acts.